To my knowledge, there's no one else in this country doing this type of testing in the actual atmosphere of which the men and women work.
We're trying to make it as real as we can without putting anybody in danger. If a guy's up there working in the field, and for some reason there's a fault, and something lets go and it explodes, would he be safe?
Initially started approximately 3 years ago when one of our splicers was injured in a manhole. A set of splices exploded, and he was burned. And what we wanted to do was find out, how can we protect the person? How can we stop such an incident from happening? And along with that, how can we protect them if such an incident happens? The purpose of coming to Kima was to help us provide better clothing and better protection, to protect the men and women inside manholes, inside transformer vaults, and up in bucket trucks. We've tested several hundred different types of clothing to find the best clothing available on the market. What we found was that the clothing we were wearing was not the best that we could have been wearing, and the manufacturers are now working with us to find the best and the lightest and the most comfortable clothing that will protect the workers. We also have blankets, and we've tested those, and they're used in the industry also now. Our testing has started the manufacturers looking really at what the men and women in the utility industry need, and it's created a whole new industry for clothing and blankets, which originated with us at Edison.
The mannequins are set up with 32 probes, which can tell us approximately the burn depth that the mannequin would receive. The actual blast takes it about 1/16 of a second.
Here we go.
It takes us about an hour to process the data on the computers inside the lab.
This gives each individual a chance to see what the actual explosion would be like and the protection level that is afforded to them. To the best of our knowledge, nobody's ever recorded a fault in a manhole with an individual in it. As you can see, we tested the clothing normally worn by our people, cotton and synthetic blends, and the results were horrendous. The cotton in synthetic clothing ignites and continues to burn, and the individual's skin will burn along with the fiber. Clothing made of synthetic fibers will not only burn, but melt into the skin. There is no way to put this out except by getting a helper in the hole or flooding the manhole. And we tried the same explosion using FR clothing on the mannequins. The results are completely different. Flames will not ignite the clothes. While they will receive some burning and singeing, they will not ignite and burn the individual. We did not confine our testing only to manholes. In overhead testing, we created a catastrophic fault on a transformer to see the effects. The same reaction happened with cotton clothing to the individuals in the air. These explosions that we simulated were worst-case scenarios, but as you can see, even under the worst conditions, the individuals wearing the fireproof clothing were protected more than the individuals wearing the cotton clothing. The oil ignited and hit the individual, but the clothing he was wearing protected him from burning.
It proved to me that it really works. I mean, you hear people say that it does this, it does that, but by you actually witnessing it, work. It does work, and these tests prove it.
We've had several instances in the Bronx and Manhattan where people have been working inside a manhole, and we've had a fault on the feeders, and because they were wearing the proper clothing, their clothes did not burn, which greatly reduced the severity of the burns that they received and the injuries that they received. The direct result of the testing at Kima and the involvement by union and management as a team has been tremendous down here. There's no union and management in safety. It's human beings that we're trying to protect, and that's where it comes down. The other benefits we've seen is that there's been utilities from across the country that have joined us. The other men and women have selected better clothing for their people to wear, which will save lives and injuries all across the country.
You're going to come out a lot better wearing the fire-retardant clothing than you would if you had on street clothes.
To not wear these FR clothes would be putting yourself in greater danger.
We all should wear fire-retardant clothing. It saves lives.